So we are back again, guys. This is Press Start to Play, and we are India's premier video game and pop culture podcast. And in this podcast, of course, are the three. Wait, hold on. I think I'm the only one from the trial left. Ayush and Manas both have left. They're not coming back. Manas has sent his son. His face looks like a baby's butt. Now he is clean shaved. I have never seen him like this. This is the first time. I've seen his Facebook pictures, which I'm not going to disclose it to anybody. But man, oh man, is he the Benjamin Button? He is aging backwards. I mean. And then we have Budget Manas, the one with all the hair, who's getting up and easy with the anime girls along his side. Every time I see him, I brighten up. And that is Darren. And welcome to the show, Darren. He's a guest of the show, and we love him. We love him on the show, and we want him on every episode, but he seemingly doesn't have time for us.
Too busy.
And too busy for ordinary people like us. And last but not the least, we have a special guest right from our Game Fiend core team, and that is Sailesh.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and Sailesh, as you guys might know, is the guy who reviewed Dying Light 2 for us on the channel, on the website, and also who's fulfilling a dream for Techland. And that is completing 500 hours on Dying Light 2. Techland made it just for him. So he's the one who's like, okay, they said it, I'm going to fulfill it. I'm going to fulfill that promise. We are going to get it back. But that's what Sailesh is all about. But this time, we have a special episode, and that is we are going to do a little bit of a deep dive into Dying Light 2, because we have two people who have completed the game, and one person who's got a little bit into it, and one person like me who is like the dumbhead who has not played the game yet, because life sucks. And we are going to talk also in this episode about Sifu, a game that because of embargo we didn't talk about. We are going to talk about that. Darren has played it. Abhi has played it, but he's not here. He's away for some duties, and we'll have him back though, so don't worry. We'll have Ayush and Abhi, both of them back, and we are going to talk about OlliOlliWorld, which I reviewed, which is going to come out 8th or 9th February. Okay. The embargo is already up, so we're going to talk a little bit about that in the first episode. And the second episode, well, I'll keep that a little bit of a mystery. The second episode will start when the second episode starts, but for now, let's take it up with the Dying Light 2 deep dive. I'm going to push it off to Manas, who's going to give a little bit of an intro again, about what the game is all about and how he's experiencing, because I think he has, how many hours do you have? Less than 10 or 20?
Oh, मैंने उतना भी नहीं खेला. I played like maybe 5 hours at max.
Okay, so we'll start off with you, man.
Yeah.
That's the right jumping point.
So, जितना मैंने खेला, I already spoke about most of it last week. Now, उसके अलावा I played a little bit more last night. मैंने रिव्यूज में देखा था कि, and I want to ask about Darren and Sailesh about it. मैंने रिव्यूज में काफी देखा था कि the story is and all that good, main character वगैरह भी, but the way the game starts, वो actually मैंने जब रिव्यूज वगैरह में देखा कि it's so bad, तो I started paying more attention, and I didn't think it was that bad शुरू में at least. I don't know आगे जाके कितना मतलब how much of a disconnect is between the main character and you, but मुझे काफी वैसे ठीक लग रहा था. Also I want to especially hear from Sailesh, because like you said, 500 hours wala na. Sailesh, you played Dying Light 1 for 500 hours, right?
Yeah, total Dying Light 1 and its DLC, the following. Both
500 hours.
Not 500, that's I think around 400 or something.
तो उतना content justifiable content है, which is fun.
हाँ, मतलब उनके बार-बार updates आते हैं, community events. So I've been playing Dying Light since 2015 only. Okay. It's been like 7 years. So
अच्छा, consistently you've been playing. Mm-hmm. And do you think Dying Light 2 has that potential, 500 hours ka, from your experience?
So far I played अभी तो कोई updates आया नहीं.
Okay. अच्छा, you'll have to wait and see. Hours. Okay.
Yeah.
And Darren,
without updates I have 50 hours. If they come updates and community events, तो हो सकते हैं और भी gameplay hours बढ़ जाए.
Okay. And Darren, you also played Dying Light 1 पूरा खत्म किया ना?
Yeah.
In co-op, right?
In co-op, I played most of it. Yeah.
Okay. अच्छा, solo भी
majority
खेला
of it. हाँ.
And do you think so far कि Dying Light 2 you finished, do you think this also has the same potential as 1?
Not yet. Dying Light once, longevity comes because of all the DLC and content they kept adding on new quests like every month or something. Dying Light 2 is packed with things, but for 500 hours, you might start scratching your head to find itna content.
Okay.
At least right now.
Okay, maybe then for community events in long run में 500 hours. Maybe the solo experience या फिर the first co-op experience is like maybe 50 hours, 80 hours max. तो यार like जैसे the story for this game is कि it's a new character, right? Aiden. Last time वाला character का Crane, right? Crane था ना last time character का ना?
हाँ, वो मर गया.
अच्छा, he's dead. Okay, he died in the first game के ending में या फिर he died like somewhere in between?
The following के ending में there are two endings.
Okay.
Like the canonical ending is you become the Night Hunter. जो Dying Light का Be the Zombie mode नहीं है.
Yeah. अच्छा, okay.
Yeah, that Night Hunter is Kyle only. The non-canonical ending is you blow up a nuke and virus खत्म हो जाता है.
Oh, okay. अच्छा, so they gave a happy ending for closure, but a bad ending for the sequel. Got it. Okay. तो फिर जैसे so this time there's a new character called Aiden and he's in the search for his sister. वो बचपन में I think there was this like the कोई spoiler access नहीं, this like the first 2 hours of the game कि ना they show you a flashback where you're with your sister and कुछ तो experiments चल रहे हैं and then you and your sister get separated and now I think your character is in search for your sister. तो that's how the game starts. Not much of an intro to be honest, like क्योंकि जो इंट्रो में तो द कैरेक्टर्स भाग के कहीं से निकल के आ रहा होता है एंड देन द गेम जस्ट स्टार्ट्स एंड देन द फ्लैशबैक कम्स अ लिटिल लेटर एंड देन यू एंड अप इन अ सिटी वेयर यू आर एबल टू फाइंड लीड्स टू गेट टू योर सिस्टर. तो Darren, Sailesh, question to both of you, like what do you think of the story like overall? Is it compelling? क्योंकि शुरू में like I'm interested एंड कैरेक्टर बुरा नहीं लग रहा है बट आई डोंट नो कि जैसे काफी गेम्स में होता है ना, just even in something like a Witcher 3, it's like a world ending threat but you have to do all the side stuff and world में collectibles and upgrades भी करने हैं. तो is the story compelling enough with all of the side stuff and all happening?
I'll let Sailesh. Do you want to go first because you've played so much more? Yeah.
अगर साइड स्टफ की कंपेयर करें तो साइड क्वेस्ट अपने अलग रास्ते हैं, उनका मेन क्वेस्ट से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. 2 or 3 साइड क्वेस्ट आर लिंक्ड टू द मेन क्वेस्ट कैरेक्टर्स, वो बोल सकते हैं. पर स्टोरी ठीक है, मतलब कंपेलिंग है एज कंपेयर टू प्रीवियस डाइंग लाइट गेम. इसमें है बेटर स्टोरी. तो
like you can
मोस्टली जो
थोड़े बहुत प्लॉट पॉइंट्स यू कैन डिस्कस, लाइक आई वांट टू हियर इट. थोड़े बहुत स्पॉइल गाइस, लाइक अ जनरल स्पॉइलर वार्निंग, कुछ डिटेल्स भी नहीं जाएंगे बट कुछ तो प्लॉट बीट्स विल हैव टू हिट.
हाँ, तो मेनली ये रीजन है कि लोग डिसोसिएट कर रहे हैं खुद को कि कैंपेन इतना कन्विंसिंग नहीं है, क्योंकि जो 3 फैक्शंस है हमारे, एक हो गया सर्वाइवर, एक हो गया पुलिस वाले पीस कीपर्स बोलते हैं, और एक रेनेगेड फैक्शन है. तो जो तीनों के तीनों फैक्शन है वो खुद के बारे में ही सोचते हैं.
And all of
they
these
try to use you.
all of these factions are in the one city. There are two Villador and the city. ये दो अलग अलग वो है क्या?
अब वो एक ही सिटी है, एक ही सिटी के दो पार्ट्स हैं.
अच्छा, 2 parts है. And then how are these factions like ये सेटअप हुए क्यों? Like what is the story with the city की हो क्या रहा है वहाँ पे?
मतलब सिटी वाज क्लोज्ड ऑफ फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड बिकॉज ऑफ द वॉल्स. क्वारंटाइन वॉल बन गया था, तो सिटी के अंदर ही अलग अलग रूल्स एंड फैक्शंस फ्लोरिश हो गए. इट्स लाइक अ पोस्ट एपोकैलिप्टिक फॉलआउट, जैसे ब्रदरहुड ऑफ स्टील फॉलआउट में है, उस टाइप के अलग अलग रूल्स.
Okay, and what are these each of these factions up to, like इनका story क्या है? Like you said, the police and all. So how did the police become the police? I'm assuming like 15 years later from the first sequel, right? So there are no weapons. Like how uniforms वगैरह कहाँ से आ रहे? धोके reuse कर रहे? Like what's happening?
नहीं, उनका यूनिफॉर्म थोड़ा यूनिक है. मतलब यहाँ पे किसका लैंप पोस्ट लगा होगा, यहाँ पे किसका लाइटर लगा होगा.
Oh, okay.
फटे मतलब टूटे फूटे जंक पार्ट्स लगा के यूनिफॉर्म बनाते हैं.
Oh, okay.
बस उनका एम्ब्लेम, पुलिस का जो एम्ब्लेम है वो यहाँ पे रहता है, बाकी सब टूटे फूटे पार्ट्स हैं.
Okay.
To add to that, when the wall that gets built around the city to keep the people in, and what happens is during that time, like you will see in the game yourself, there is a big chemical bomb that goes off. Like the city gets chemically bombed. So during that time, there's riots and everything, and like the military and the police, everything is cut out from the outside world.
Okay.
So they split up into the renegades and the peacekeepers. The peacekeepers being the police.
Okay.
The peacekeepers, what they do is they have blue color code, but for rank they have tattoos like on their arm to denote their rank.
Okay.
And that plays like a plot point into the game as well, like the tattoo part.
Okay.
So that's how the whole thing is set up. They have the peacekeepers and the renegades and the survivors who are just normal people.
Acha, survivors are normal people. Renegades कौन is like a rebel faction?
Kind of like, yeah. Just like, you know, like psychos from Borderlands, they are little little, you know,
okay okay
juiced
समझ
up on something.
समझ गया तो अच्छा
मैड मैक्स में जैसे
तो इस गेम में द कॉप्स लाइक एक्चुअली तो जैसे काफी गेम्स में होता है ना, द कॉप्स से यूजुअली जैसे लास्ट ऑफ अस में फेडरा आर द कॉप्स बट दे आर द बैड पीपल, तो इसमें द कॉप्स आर एक्चुअली गुड पीपल और मोस्टली गुड नहीं?
मोस्टली
अच्छा ओके ओके अच्छा एंड द रेनेगेड फैक्शन इज आल्सो बैड यू सेइंग टेक्निकली? अच्छा ओनली द सर्वाइवर्स आर द नॉर्मल पीपल. अब मेरा एक और क्वेश्चन था लाइक व्हेन आई गॉट इनटू द सिटी ना एंड व्हेन आई सॉ लाइक पूरा वॉल वगैरह बना हुआ है, तो इतना वॉल प्रोटेक्शन है तो व्हाई आर देयर स्टिल सो मेनी zombies इनसाइड द सिटी? आई मीन zombies है जो भी है ये जो
They're just the people of the city. So there's nobody coming in from outside. It's
Yeah.
all the people of the city who are turning into zombies. So everyone in the city, every person, living person in the city is infected,
including
everyone.
your character?
including your character.
अच्छा that is that UV. अच्छा okay okay
वो
Yeah.
नाइट मेरा इम्यूनिटी होता है.
Okay, okay.
And that's why you have that
Go at
bracelet.
night, you can find some side events like कोई लोग हेल्प के लिए बुला रहा होगा, तो you can go and help him provide UV rooms और immunity boosters.
okay
तो
okay
मतलब ये सारे लोग इन्फेक्टेड है.
अच्छा सो मेरा देन दूसरा क्वेश्चन था, सिंस देयर आर पीस कीपर्स एंड देयर इज सम काइंड ऑफ एस्टैब्लिशमेंट राइट, तो ये इन सारे zombies को मार क्यों नहीं? लाइक इज देयर नॉट अ वे टू कीप एलिमिनेटिंग जो भी टर्न हो रहा है, और लाइक इज देयर नॉट अ वे टू क्लीन द सिटी? मेरे माइंड में ये थॉट था, इज देयर अ गेम प्ले ऑप्शन वेयर आई कैन क्लीन आउट द एंटायर सिटी?
I thought the same, but apparently there is not, and there is no story reason for it. I don't know why, but it is just that people are trying to survive and get by, and because of the special zombies that are also in the city besides the regular ones.
Yeah.
I guess they don't want to risk it as much. Like you will see renegades or the peacekeepers and survivors just standing here, and 10 kadam aage, like 15 steps aage, there's just like 5-10 zombies just chilling, having a good time.
Okay.
And it's just like, ठीक है, हाँ, they're coexisting.
Yeah, okay, got it.
वो जो पास आते हैं वो मारना स्टार्ट कर लेते हैं.
हाँ,
जैसे
okay.
मेरे पीछे कुछ zombies पड़े होते हैं, मैं उन पीस कीपर्स के पास चला जाता हूँ, फिर वो मेरे लिए मार देते हैं उनको.
Okay. अच्छा तो ऐसे डायनामिक ये स्टफ भी
हाँ,
चलता
रैंडम
है?
इवेंट्स होते रहते हैं.
Okay.
Classic Walking Dead episode, but but my question over here is what I wanted to know about the story is that Manas asked a lot of questions. What I wanted to know is the story really branching? Like, what is it about?
Yeah.
Like, have you encountered those dynamic storytelling that they have claimed that is going to change the city? You're going to make lots of decisions, which is going to impact the story down the line. Have you faced any such decisions yourselves? Like. Any such thing that has changed the city and you have like gone back on a save and did something else? If you have done something like that, we would love to know.
Currently, I'm playing on only one save file. So all the decisions I've made, it feels like I've made the wrong decision. Every decision I make feels like I've made the wrong decision because people die and bad things happen. So maybe if I start a new save file, I may be able to revert the same decision. Yeah, ये भी हो सकता है कि these events are scripted.
Okay.
That can also happen. As for the city alignment, they are not essentially part of the story. Like in the open world, you can go inside the structures and change the city alignment, assign a certain structure to a certain faction, and depending on that, they will add new stuffs in the world. Like they will add jumping pads that will help you jump faster. They will add zip lines, and even they will add zip lines that can go in the opposite direction. So it depends on which faction you are assigning, and the city alignment is not essentially part of the campaign.
तो असाइनिंग व्हाट डू यू मीन? जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे फार क्राई का एग्जांपल लेके ना, देयर आर विंडमिल्स इन दिस गेम, तो जैसे इफ आई लिबरेट अ टावर, तो उसके बाद मेरे पास ऑप्शन होता है टू असाइन इट टू समबडी.
Yeah.
अच्छा
Yeah.
तो आई कैन पिक लाइक हु डू आई लाइक पीस कीपर या
Yeah.
रेनेगेट. अच्छा वैसे ओके एंड देन डू बोथ द डिफरेंट फैक्शंस गिव डिफरेंट बेनिफिट्स या डू दे गिव द सेम?
Yeah.
ओह अच्छा, लाइक पीस कीपर
Different
क्या
benefits.
देता है?
Peacekeeper is more hostile
Combat-
type. जैसे
Yeah,
weapons होते
combat
हैं.
based.
अच्छा
हाँ,
ओके.
combat based.
एंड रेनेगेट्स विल
And-
गिव दीस जिप लाइंस एंड स्टफ.
Renegades का ऑप्शन नहीं है क्योंकि they are bad people.
Oh, okay.
Peacekeeper and survivor.
सर्वाइवर ओके. सो सर्वाइवर्स गिव
Yeah.
यू दीस
Survivor,
जिप लाइंस एंड स्टफ.
parkour. हाँ, parkour
Parkour
type के.
stuff. Got it. Okay. अच्छा, so that's the city में जो changes वाला with your choice
Yeah.
वाला वो. But एक वो याद है, I remember like years ago ये trailer एक आया था ना,
Water
where
tower वाला ना.
water tower, yeah, the water
हाँ.
level वाला, कि ना the water
हाँ,
level
मैं
will go
अभी तक
down.
उस point पर पहुंचा नहीं तो.
Yeah,
I can't
even
really
I
say.
haven't found it. I was looking for it, but I didn't find it. So maybe it's in. You have to keep playing to unlock the water.
Yeah, yeah,
unlock-
it
The story
का
kind
part
of went right. Story कुछ मतलब उस time पे कुछ ऐसा था ना कि like you will do something जिसके वजह से the water level will drop and you will get access to a whole new region of the city.
हाँ.
More
It's
dangerous
not in the
zombies
main
and all.
campaign.
Oh.
I've beaten the main campaign. It's not in it. So it's most likely a side thing. Plus, in the trailer, they also talked about like underwater zombies, like zombies from the water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I played the whole game. I was like, ठीक है अब आएगा main quest. Because I was like, oh, I'm getting towards the end. Where is the underwater zombie? Because the main campaign has parts where you go underwater swimming and stuff. I was like, oh, अब आएगा jump scare, अब आएगा, and it never came. So again, I'm assuming it's part of that and also in a side quest.
Or do you think it could be like क्योंकि इतने time पहले दिखाया था, could it be cut content? Because I never वो एक ही बारी उनके
No,
उसके बारे में बात
apparently
की
it
है.
is because I saw it in a. I was going through my like YouTube and I saw like Dying Light, water zombie awakens or something like that, and I was like, wait,
Crowder.
it's actually Yeah, I was like, this actually happens in the game, and I clicked on it, and there was like gameplay happening. I was like, whatever. Maybe it does happen. Maybe I missed out on it. It's a side mission, so I
Okay.
think it's still the
Okay.
game.
Because I thought because मुझे वो अभी भी याद है क्योंकि that was like a major selling point उस time पे ना, like unlocking a new region of the map, and also उस time पे ये भी था ना कि if you don't do this is a region that you never get to see. So I thought that was interesting, almost like वो Witcher 2 में जो branching वो नहीं था कि you don't get to see the other thing at all.
Other faction, yeah.
Yeah, तो मुझे लगा ऐसा कुछ होगा. Okay, got it.
So
वैसा पानी वाला जगह है क्या? मतलब आई एम जस्ट गेटिंग
मैप
मोर.
में एक लिखा है मडी स्वाम्प्स लिखा है, तो हो सकता है वो एरिया को रेफर कर रहे हैं.
ओके
Okay.
ओके ओके ओके
Maybe
And-
you do need to play 500 hours, huh?
राइट.
coming back to the main story,
Yeah.
I mostly played the main quest.
Okay.
Mostly. And I was like picking options that I was thinking like, oh, maybe this is more in line for Aiden as a character who's looking for his sister and wants information about that rather than helping people. He will help, but utna nahi. And I got to the end of the game and I was like, oh, cool. Like, so, these are the options I have. I saved this character in the past and they've shown up and, they are sort of helping me and all that. And in the end, I got two choices, A or B, right? And I picked A. And I was like, okay, a few more dialogue. And again, A or B, the same choice is given to you again. I was like, I want A. And I did it. And I was like, basically kind of got the bad ending of the game. And I was like, oh, well. And I waited because nobody else had played the game by then. So I had to wait. So then yesterday I went and I checked, oh, what's the other endings? If you side with someone else, what happens? Can you save this character? Can you do this? And it was like, no, the game just has two endings, A or B. And what minor things change in the ending are which faction controls the city or who is in charge of the city, that sort of things. Like, it's like a Fallout 3 or New Vegas खेला, and in the end you have a slideshow telling you कि क्या हो गया.
Okay.
It's basically
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but a voiceover.
Yeah.
And like maybe one small cutscene.
But just this sounds like कि the game end में funnel होके like comes to like more or less a
Yeah.
similar. But वो जो
But
funnel से
before
पहले
that-
yeah.
That is, I feel that is quite, different because I had a mission where I had to go find a doctor, right? And since I was on good terms with the survivors in the first town, I went up there and they were like, oh yeah, just go here, meet her up. So I was like, what if I was not on good terms with them? Would they like turn me away? And I wanted to know, but again, I didn't know. Then again, there was a thing where, oh, who do you want to assign this story-based radio tower to? And I picked someone else. And then when there came a moment where it was like, you need to do this, the character who I was with talking to, he said, how do I do that? I don't have the radio tower with me. And I was like, oh, so maybe if he had the radio tower, things would have been different.
Got it.
Same goes for another quest where I was told, hey, you followed this guy and you did all this. I think he's up to something. Go check it out. And I had the option of checking it out or saying, screw this, I don't want to do it. So I said, I don't want to do it. I want to find my sister. And I think I completely missed out on like a bunch of missions
Oh,
about
okay,
a certain
okay,
character
okay.
and missed out completely everything about it. So I think before the funnel, you get different options. But once the funnel hits, the ending is just, I'm disappointed by it. Very disappointed by the
Okay.
ending.
चलो एटलीस्ट along the way like अगर थोड़े चॉइस कॉन्सिक्वेंस देखने को मिल रहा है तो
हाँ.
दैट कुड बी इंटरेस्टिंग इनफ राइट. मुझे एक और क्वेश्चन था जैसे आई नोटिस दिस व्हाइल प्लेइंग अ लिटिल बिट ना कि जैसे इन द सिटी जैसे इफ यू आर like if you're somewhere in the center, there ये campfires type है ना, where people are sitting and talking,
हाँ.
and so they'll be talking myths, almost they'll be talking about कि ना stories, and sometimes they're talking about you, but they don't know
Yeah.
they don't know कि it's you who's sitting there with them, especially if you're थोड़ा सा ना like away from the center of the city. So I thought that was like some good environmental storytelling where people don't know you, but they're talking about they're discussing stories about you. But when you go to the center of the city where you have a reputation, so they actually address you because they know you. तो ऐसा लाइक ऐसा और स्टफ है क्या अराउंड द कैरेक्टर एंड ये जो रेपुटेशन एंड रिलेशनशिप्स वाला?
नहीं, बस वो कैंप फायर ही है.
अच्छा, वो कैंप फायर ही है. कैन यू लेवरेज इट, लाइक जैसे इफ यू गो टू लाइक एन एनिमी फैक्शन एंड यू काइंड ऑफ बिल्ड अप अ रेपुटेशन विद देम, ऐसा कुछ ऑप्शन है क्या? अच्छा, ऐसा नहीं. ओके, इट्स जस्ट
like once you side with the faction, the other faction just becomes hostile to you on sight.
Oh,
actually. So it's basically that they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, it's that guy, like, you know, we have to get him, he screwed us over.
Is that guy who picked option B instead of option A?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I don't know if you did this, if you even got to this quest. There was a quest where one of the peacekeepers in the first town, he got into an issue with the main antagonist and he almost dies, right? And I reached the second town and the peacekeepers were like, oh, there's one survivor and it's that guy. And I was like, oh shit, he knows what happened. And everyone was like, oh, he's the only one who knows what happened in the town. Okay, since I sided with the peacekeeper, with the survivors, I was like, oh shit, I like turned on him and now he's here. So the game gave me a side mission where it was like, go gather some things and you can either poison him with it and blame someone else, or you can give him the actual cure.
मैं उस पॉइंट पे आया.
And you can actually give him the proper medicine and cure him. I was like, "ठीक है, I want to see how this plays out. I want to see how this side mission ties into the main quest." I did the mission. I saved him because I was like, "I want to see what happens to my character." Nothing. I just got a message saying, I got a radio thing saying, "Oh, he's up on his feet. He should let us know what happened soon." And then nothing after that. And I was like, कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. I was like, कुछ तो होगा. Maybe because of choices I made in the main story. उसके बाद maybe that's why nothing happened. But I was just pretty like, कुछ तो repercussions. Like I literally left that dude to die. कुछ तो बोलो भाई.
But I do get कि ना like why you kind of disappointed with the ending and some of the plot beats also. But also जो तुम दोनों जो थोड़ा bits and pieces of good things that you're telling me, na, that definitely has me interested. Na, I want to see this, even if it doesn't pay off fully in the end. मुझे ये मन तो कर रहा है कि ना, even for the bits and pieces I'll play it. But I think the main reason that people play this game for is the parkour and the combat and the zombies and the so how is all of that?
Parkour तो is far better than the first game. So many people are saying that parkour is floaty in Dying Light 2. पर जो फ्लोटीनेस है वो दैट इज कि तुम लोगों को ज्यादा स्पीड, ज्यादा मोमेंटम क्रिएट करने के लिए फ्लोटीनेस मैकेनिज्म रखा है. तो इन Dying Light 1, if you notice that if you jump and the distance between A and B is very large and you do a long jump and तुम लेज को ऑलमोस्ट ग्रैब करते हो. तो जो हमारा कैरेक्टर था काइल क्रेन, तो वो कैसे चढ़ता है ना, लेज ग्रैब करता है, फिर वो इसे स्लैम करके फोर्स करके ऊपर चढ़ता है. Those things are not there in Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 में you can A to B, तुम आराम से जंप करके जा सकते हो. तुम्हारा कैरेक्टर कभी गिरेगा नहीं. And furthermore, you have the option to sprint. अगर तुम शिफ्ट दबा के खेल रहे हो तो you can do a very long jump.
Got it.
एक पूरा मोमेंटम कंजर्व करने के लिए. You can wall run, you can vertically climb the wall surfaces, जो कि पहले पार्ट में नहीं था.
As in,
तो maybe because
any surface या कुछ होना चाहिए, ledge grab या grass or something, anything.
जैसे 300% में थोड़ा अमाउंट तुम वर्टिकली क्लाइंब कर सकते हो.
Oh, okay.
300% टाइप.
Okay.
तो maybe because of that people are saying that इसमें parkour is very floaty, you feel like a balloon instead of an actual human being. तो अगर lore wise देखें तो हमारा जो कैरेक्टर है एडन, he is a special human being. So उस पे कुछ experiments हुआ था. So he has some strong ability, durability and all. So
that's even discussed in like the first couple of hours. Now one of the characters you meet, the earliest character you meet, who mentions कि ना you're stronger or something. Okay.
So maybe because of that all these new parkour stuffs are there, जो कि for part 1 में नहीं था. तो because of that people are saying that इसमें parkour थोड़ा इजी है, इजी फॉर ऑल द न्यू प्लेयर्स, तो क्योंकि उनको भी प्लेयर बेस बढ़ानी है टेकलैंड, तो
Yeah.
बिकॉज ऑफ
Okay, but
But
that's also go on, Sushir. Go on.
But you did talk about like, yeah, okay, that people are complaining about the parkour being floaty, but people are also complaining about the ragdoll being a little bit of a mess. What do you guys think about that? Is it something that Techlands needs to address, needs to get back to? Like, how different is it from like one?
Yeah. In one, if I give an example, like for example, you are on a building and the zombie is at the edge of the building. If you kick the zombie, so वो गुलाटी मार के नीचे गिरता है, like a
हाँ.
rag doll. In Dying Light 2, if you kick the zombie, वो सीधा ऐसे जाता है,
Oh,
फिर नीचे देखता है, फिर गिर जाता है, like a cartoon.
yeah, I noticed that yesterday only. I saw that and I thought ये थोड़ा मुझे लगा था maybe I didn't kick him hard enough or something कि ये उड़ता हुआ नहीं गया. I would have loved, yeah, you're right वैसे, that's true. तो ये ऐसे examples और भी है क्या? Because some of the visceral
और
stuff
भी
is
है.
cool, like some of the
The dismemberment.
dismemberment and even जैसे Sailesh mentioned falling off a roof, but what if जैसे if you just cut off a person's head or something and वहाँ जैसे गिरता है on the ground, that's normal actually. बुरा नहीं लग रहा
हाँ,
होता
वो
देखने में.
तो है. But if you use a blunt weapon in Dying Light 1, for example, you have a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And if you hit the zombie with a baseball bat, the bat bounces back. Like वो effect था उसमें.
Okay.
इसमें अगर blunt weapon use कर रहे हो तो that effect is not there. वो bat ऐसे चला जाता है, zombie मतलब थोड़ा पीछे animate होके stumble हो जाता है.
Okay.
So those effects are not there in Dying Light 2 as of now. Maybe Techland future में अपडेट करेगा क्योंकि बस 2-3 दिन लॉन्च हुए हैं.
Yeah, but this is something that I didn't notice. So do you think ये, I mean, and this could definitely be a feature जो ना लोगों के लिए easier बनाने के लिए add किया हो तो, but do you think ये like a casual or a new player will not note? मैंने खुद ही नहीं notice किया, तो maybe that is the reason why.
Dying Light 1 खेले हैं जिन्होंने वो notice कर रहे हैं.
And that would definitely be a big part of the audience also. So
I wanted to talk about the parkour because I was watching one of the videos from Techland about the parkour, and they said that the previous game they had a different gravity modifier in the game, which changed the way you jumped and everything, you ran. It had a higher gravity thing. In this game, they're using actual like Earth gravity, 9.8. All you nerds who know it know
0.98.
9.8 meters per second square,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is. So they're like, oh, that is why it might feel floaty, and it might not feel floaty as much. It might feel more, like you're more impactful and all that. But when I played the game, I found it floaty as well, and I think I told Manas also about it. And that feeling never goes. Like when you start off the game, parkour is very limited to you, especially since you're a character who's a pilgrim who's been traveling around. You think your character has thoda sa experience in parkour and all that, right? But you don't even have the option to crowd slide first. That is an unlock you get like thoda sa like काफी अंदर जाके of the game, like skill tree में भी काफी अंदर जाके, and I was pretty annoyed by it. But the parkour itself, like if you play Mirror's Edge, right, which is a parkour game, you get muscle memory from knowing what you can do, how your character moves. But in Dying Light 2, even till the end, I was always scared, especially on ledges and small things, not knowing whether or not my character would walk off or reach the end. So many times would happen where I would try to jump behind me, looking at it, and I would jump somewhere else. I would be climbing the last mission, the literal last parkour section of the main mission. I'm climbing up, and my character suddenly moves and grabs onto another ledge while I'm turning around, and I jump back and I completely miss and fall back down while there's a timer going down. And I was like, why? Why is there such inaccuracy in me climbing or moving or running? Like, I feel like it needs to be fixed. It doesn't feel like you can master it essentially. It doesn't feel like it. It feels a little something is up. Sometimes collision bugs with the like environment. I'll be running the side of a building, a skyscraper that's this wide. Okay, it's only wide enough for me, and I'm running, and I would just somehow hit some sort of invisible edge on the window and get bumped to the right and miss my jump.
Oh.
And I would go, and then because of missing that jump, I would have to restart like lower down, like at least 1.5 minutes of progress gone of climbing the building because of that happening. And I was just so annoyed that I was like, you can't expect me to try and build momentum and then do that. Give me a grapple hook and give me all that. when things like this are happening, and I then want to play carefully instead of trying to, master the parkour.
ये जो
So that got frustrating to
you
me.
mentioned ना ये विंडो के एकदम साइड को सडनली लाइक मूविंग टू द साइड वो
Yeah.
ऑटोमेटिकली होता है. आई थिंक दैट्स अ फीचर ऑफ द गेम वैसे. लाइक
Is
जैसे
it?
इफ यू रनिंग वो ना इफ यू रनिंग टुवर्ड्स zombies or something एंड जैसे गेम डिटेक्ट करता है कि यू नॉट प्लानिंग टू अटैक बट यू वांट टू
हाँ.
रन पास योर मोमेंटम एंड इनपुट का वो एक आइडिया लेके
असिस्ट टाइप का.
तो वो हाँ तो वो खुद से थोड़ा सा साइड शिफ्ट स्टेप करता है तो मे बी
But this felt
Yeah.
more like when you like in games when you go up against a structure, right, and you like kind of rub against them, and your character gets bounced a little bit to the side
yeah
because the collision is messing up. That's what it felt like. It just went me going like this, and
yeah
and I was like, oh.
मे बी इट्स अ
It feels
फीचर
like
जो
a-
मतलब सही जगह पे
Yeah.
गलत जगह पे जस्ट वर्कड रॉन्ग वाला वो ना.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I like the idea of वो zombies को automatically थोड़ा side step करना
हाँ.
वाला वो, but this I mean that can also be a problem. जैसे if you're on the edge of a building and हल्का सा maybe just like a chimney poking out and वहाँ पे अगर side step हो गया building से गिर गया तो I've got it. Okay.
Feels like a
एक
automatic.
और डाउनसाइड है, लाइक वी हैव द एबिलिटी टू वॉल रन हॉरिजॉन्टली. सो जैसे मैं यहाँ पे एक लैडर को ग्रैब करके हूँ और अलोंग द वॉल एक पाइप है, तो आई नीड टू जंप टू ग्रैब द पाइप. पर जब मैं जंप करता हूँ वो ऑटोमेटिक वॉल रन एग्जीक्यूट कर लेता है
Oh.
एंड आई मिस द पाइप.
चलो ये तो
So that-
थोड़े बहुत तो with these many systems in the parkour and the
Yeah.
combat कुछ तो चलो concessions we have to say. So that's the combat and the वो. Now the thing that scares me the most, ये रात में कितना scary and how much of the gameplay is actually at night.
So Techland actually I would say it did an impressive job. Like गेम को ज्यादा एक्सेसिबल लेस स्कैरी बनाने के लिए इन्होंने चेस लेवल्स बना दे, चेस लेवल 1 से लेके 4 तक. तो रात को देयर आर दिस स्पेशल zombies कॉल्ड हाउलर्स जो
Yeah.
तुमको देखते हुए चिल्लाते हैं आंख बंद करके. तो यू कैन अवॉइड देम और यू कैन किल देम. अगर तुम उनको मारोगे या यू गेट डिटेक्टेड बाय देम, दे विल वार्न एवरी ज़ॉम्बी इन दैट एरिया एंड चेस स्टार्ट्स. चेस लेवल 1 एंड 2 में तुमको बस वायरल्स इन चेस करते हैं जो कि लाइक इतना खास नहीं है.
Okay.
Here, पर दे अटैक इन लार्ज नंबर्स, थोड़े फास्ट है पर यू कैन टेक देम डाउन. चेस लेवल 3 ऑनवर्ड्स यू गेट स्पेशल zombies लाइक एक है बैंशी, एक फीमेल ज़ॉम्बी है, तो सी जंप्स फ्रॉम ज़ॉम्बी टू ज़ॉम्बी. वो तुमको एयर में बाउंस करने की कोशिश करती है.
ये वो ट्यूटोरियल में जो आता है शुरू में वो है क्या?
हाँ.
The same.
हाँ, वो सिनेमैटिक ट्रेलर में जो ज़ॉम्बी था वही
नहीं सिनेमैटिक नहीं, the first
The radio tower के पास
radio
ना?
tower के
हाँ,
पास.
हाँ, हाँ,
Okay,
हाँ,
oh
वही,
shit, yeah,
वही.
okay.
So
That looks
shit is
awesome
there.
वैसे.
हाँ, but they have low health. Like तब तक तुम्हारा एमो नहीं, तुम्हारा वेपन डैमेज भी हाई होगा, तो we can take them down also.
Yeah.
फिर चेस लेवल 4 में तक वोलेटाइल्स आते हैं
What are the
and that shit is real.
okay. Volatiles
Yeah.
वही है जो लास्ट वाले उसमें भी थे.
हाँ.
रात में जो
यहाँ से मुंह खुल जाते हैं.
I hate those the most man. सबसे ज्यादा फटती है उनसे. Okay.
तो
But-
मुंह आते हैं लाइक 5-6 एक साथ तुमको चेस करते हैं. तो जब मैं चेस लेवल 4 हिट करता आई डोंट लुक बैक, आई जस्ट रन. जहां लेज मिले वहीं पे चला जाता हूँ, आई डोंट लुक बैक. बस एक्सपी बढ़ाने के लिए चेस लेवल 4 तक जाता हूँ, फिर कोई यूवी स्पॉट देके वहीं पे घुस जाता हूँ.
But ये chase level 4 तक जाना is it part of the main mission at all?
नहीं.
नहीं. Oh, good.
Sure.
No.
So
But
इसे
you can experience that thrill. Like अगर तुमको difficulty spike करनी है तो you can play at night
हाँ.
at chess level 4 and do the missions.
नहीं नहीं I'll find some
हाँ.
other kind of thrill. ये
There was a
नहीं-
mission where it was like night time, like the mission started at night, and I was doing like I was following something, and then it was like go to this location. So I was like, it's night time, I don't want to do this. I went back to the safe house, slept, made it morning, and went back to that mission because it was still active. So I went back to the location, and the mission continued, and like zombies came and like started attacking me. And I was like, this probably would have been much more scarier, and more zombies would have come at night. And I just like outplayed the game, and I was like, I'm freaking smart.
This is what I want to
So-
hear. Yes.
So you can do that. Like you can, if you want, there are very few main missions which force you to play at night, especially outdoors. If it is at night, it will be indoors, which is creepy, with zombies all inside and around. And if you get very scared, speaking of volatiles, I think there is only one mission or two missions very early on in the game where you're actually in the same building with a volatile
था वो hospital.
prowling. हाँ, hospital वाला prowling around, and then there's one more उसके बाद where there are 3-4 volatiles towards the end, where there are 3-4 volatiles, and again you have to sneak by. But besides that, I don't remember ever getting jump scared in the main campaign, getting jump scared or having to put myself in a situation where I was extremely scared. So thankfully that is there for people who don't want that.
ये
That's great to know.
Yeah.
Just one question over here. Lots of people are going to jump into Dying Light. Dying Light 2. We are seeing the numbers are really high on Steam right now. Give us some tips. Like, I want to know like one skill that we need to get like right away, or one skill that is something that is important to this game, and one skill that we can avoid. So we have like a little bit of a tips and tricks over here so that people can know from the professionals.
I would say first, is it going to be upgrade or stamina?
हाँ,
Because upgrade
वो
is
तो
stamina.
बहुत स्टेमिना चाहिए. Like your weapons take a lot of stamina, and parkour में भी स्टेमिना खत्म हो जाता है.
Oh, okay. So stamina तो बढ़ाना ही है. A strong heart will
हाँ.
also help, I guess. Real life. में,
One
not in
essential
game.
skill is the drop kick. Like
Oh, yeah.
drop kick is very OP.
Okay, okay.
तुम जैसे भाग के सीधा साइड बाय साइड किक करोगे, कोई भी कैरेक्टर वो उठ जाएगा.
Okay, okay. ये मैंने ट्यूटोरियल में एक वो देखा था where you would jump off one character and like kind of
हाँ,
jump
वो
kick
भी
another
है.
one. Okay.
That's the first skill you unlock in the
Okay.
campaign.
Yeah.
Like if you parry at the right time, you can jump over him and kick the other guy behind him.
Okay, okay.
But the
Also,
drop kick is
lock
very
pick,
recommended.
Perfect. ठीक है. So I think we covered
lock
most
pick
of
को भी
the
करना है.
most of the bases.
और-
Yeah, Sushir, go on.
और अवॉइड क्या करना है वो तो बता दो. कि जिसका जो फालतू है, जिसको यूज नहीं है, कोई मतलब नहीं है उस पे पॉइंट्स खर्चा करने का.
कोई भी रेंज स्किल जैसे क्रॉसबो
Yeah.
रिलेटेड जो skill, मैं क्रॉसबो यूज ही नहीं किया कभी गेम में.
हाँ.
Like if people do use that, like is it like something not, it's underpowered? Is like what is it?
Like
Like,
I want up close and personal. आगे जाके सामने फेस पे मारो. दूर से कौन
Okay,
मारेगा?
okay. Oh, then I am the crossbow
I
guy.
tried the
Crossbow
crossbow
guy,
because once I got it, I was like, oh cool, I can try to get some headshots on zombies, but the amount of damage I was doing was
Damage बहुत little.
Okay.
very little. So I was like, no point, just invest. Like pick up. Don't be afraid to pick up new weapons because the game will throw weapons at you that have better damage.
Yeah.
So don't get attached to a weapon. So just keep recycling weapons. Same for outfits. Game throws outfits at you, so just keep picking up new outfits and checking on the gear level. And if some outfits are like, oh, extra healing, extra this, extra that, so check whatever your playstyle is. Uske hisab se just pick
Okay.
up your outfits.
Alright, before we wrap up ये वाला वो, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the graphics क्योंकि I think this game does look pretty good. देखने में काफी सुंदर है. Especially one of the coolest effects that I noticed was कि वो zombies can't survive in the sunlight, right? But जब वो sunlight में होते हैं, just like the smoke and उनका वो skin पूरा वो रहता है,
Melt
burn
होने
हो रहा होता है
लगता
ना. It's
Yeah.
beautiful effect. The smoke and stuff, the cinders and all coming off the zombies. Lovely stuff. उसके अलावा like with ray tracing on, I saw the digital foundry video.
Digital
Holy
Foundry.
shit!
Oof.
क्या डिफरेंस है रे ट्रेसिंग में यार. आई मीन इट लुक्स लाइक अ मॉड बीइंग अप्लाइड टू द, कि पहले मुझे लगा यार द कलर डिफरेंसेस एंड ऑल लाइक विद रे ट्रेसिंग ऑन एंड ऑफ इट्स लाइक एन आर्टिस्टिक थिंग, राइट? लाइक इफ यू लाइक इट और नॉट. द वार्म ऑरेंज आल्सो लुक्स नाइस, द कोल्डर ब्लूज आल्सो लुक नाइस. बट देन वंस आई स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग मोर ऑफ द गेम, आई फील लाइक यार dude, like मैंने भी वो डिजिटल फाउंड्री वाले मीडियम आरटी ऑन वाले सेटिंग्स यूज किए टू फाइनली गेट द गेम रनिंग स्मूथली 1440p पे. DLSS really helps, makes a massive
Yeah.
difference. Great looking
One
game.
pro tip for people who are going to be using ray tracing, like the one in Digital Foundry, the guy who made the video recommends upping the gamma settings just a little bit because there is a lot of black crush in the game. So
Okay.
even by default, if you're feeling the dark areas are too dark and you're losing detail, up the gamma. Same if you're using ray tracing, then very much up the gamma just to make sure you're not getting black crush.
Yeah.
Just so you can enjoy the game more.
Yeah, I actually felt that game is too bit brighter compared to Dying Light 1. Dying Light 1 में अगर if you talk about the night, complete darkness है. Like torch डाल के देखनी पड़ती है. And the following, it is even more darker because it takes place in the countryside. तो कोई street lights, कोई lights कुछ भी नहीं है. इसमें Dying Light 2 में we have this huge moon. It's always full moon in the game. The night feels like evening only.
Okay, that's a good thing for me वैसे.
हाँ, but
One-
if you turn up the volumetric fog, तो उसमें से एकदम creepy atmosphere बन जाता है.
Okay,
अगर fog को you keep the fog at high settings.
okay.
One thing before we wrap this up, this was a really good deep dive, but this is like a trick question to both of you who have played this, completed this game. You have used the grappling hook and you have used what is that, the parachute, or what is that called?
Paraglider.
Paraglider.
Yeah, paraglider. but have you driven a bicycle or hoverboard?
I just saw it today and I was disappointed.
In
It's
Techland
not
1, it was there, I think.
In it's there in 2, and you can drive a bicycle and hoverboard. Hoverboard, I think it's only one area that you can do that, and the bicycle, well, you can drive it around town, I suppose.
हाँ. Can you
Yeah,
like kind
and I
of
think
hop onto
You need-
buildings ऊपर कर सकते हैं क्या कैसे ना कैसे?
You
no, I
need-
don't know about the
setting.
BMX shit, but like
Okay.
you can drive it in the lanes
Okay.
like normal people. Like I think the 500 hours stems from the fact that you're supposed to use the stairs and not jump over buildings. So
Just walk everywhere.
but that was a great deep dive into Dying Light 2. Thank you, both of you. You guys, went through the game, completed it, made us aware of all the small little facets of this game, and this was extremely helpful for all of us who's going to get into the game, including me. I'm going to jump into the game real soon, and I hope to see you, there. We definitely are going to do some co-op.
Moral support.
I don't want to say that.
But one thing, if you're playing in co-op, I think the game gets much easier because everything seems to be designed around single player first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can turn up the difficulty. Hard में फटेगा, I think.
So in co-op, you play in hard.
Yeah. Because normal I found is very easy compared to Dying Light 1. Easy लग रहा है क्योंकि plenty of resources, plenty of weapons, plenty of armor.
तो easy game से चले जाते हैं अब एक completely what is supposedly a very difficult game, and we have had Abhi. He's reviewing it for Gamifine. His review will be up there right after the embargo has ended. It will be up there very soon, and we have Darren who has played it. And Darren, tell us something about this really difficult game. What is this difficult game that you're playing? Are you playing Elden Ring?
I wish I was playing Elden Ring every single waking moment of my life, but I'm playing Sifu. I'm not mispronouncing Shifu. It is Sifu. And imagine watching a Bruce Lee movie, right? And seeing all the amazing stuff he does, for audio listeners, I really quickly move
Darren
my
did an
hands.
amazing stuff.
Yeah. He did a backflip and
Imagine doing that in a video game, right? Modern video game. And that is what Sifu is. It's pure hand-to-hand martial arts combat. That's what the game is.
okay.
There's not a lot of story to it, but the combat is everything for the game. So if you're familiar with Sekiro, the game kind of to me feels like it
Okay.
because it's like a dance. Oftentimes, it's slightly rhythm based. You can attack, of course. There are combos, of course, but most of the time you will spend blocking, dodging, and avoiding. And these are different mechanics in the game that I think make that dance a dance and really make it so much fun to play, man. Like I want to play more of it, but also I'm bad at it because the game needs you to be good to progress,
Yeah, I also
which
played.
I think Abhi is suffering from.
A gate good moment.
I also played a little bit, and इसका intro, like, I mean, story उतना heavy मुझे feel नहीं हुआ है. But the intro, the stuff they have like a
Yeah.
they put you. I didn't understand. मुझे लग रहा है maybe I missed something क्योंकि मैं half attention पे I was just trying it out, right? तो उसमें there's an intro where like the screen is entirely red. You're in like a red area of सब कुछ red है, and you're walking and you're beating up these bosses. मुझे ऐसा लगा back to back. Those are the actual
Yeah.
bosses that you fight.
Those are the actual bosses you end up fighting.
हाँ, ये एक stylistic presentation है where every boss I think has like a mechanic, and उसके through you're kind of being taught new moves during like a intro. वो the title, the names and all the credits भी चल रहे हैं उस time पे, and you're doing these combat sections. It's kind of a really cool look, and the overall game has a very stylistic look to it, जो especially if you played Absolver इनका पिछला वाला game ना, तो you notice which was also a combat focused game, like a hand to hand combat वाला. A really cool looking stuff, and even the way you flow through levels almost ना, there is like a एक वो movie देखी ना, Raid जो movie है.
Exactly.
हाँ,
Yeah.
एक वो वैसा वाला फील बहुत है उसमें, like you're going up a building, first floor पे कुछ बंदों को मारा, then you're going through a hallway में पूरे लोग हैं, and then the camera has like pans to like a side view.
a side scroller view.
like
Yeah.
a side scroller wala view, and you clearing out like a hallway of enemies, then camera resets back to behind the shoulder, then you walk into like a bigger room, वहाँ पे और enemies maybe some bosses. It's genuine presentation wise, so it's very cool. There is a mechanic in it, like Darren, I think you can explain it a little bit better. जैसे whenever you take a hit and तुम्हारा health पूरा zero drop हो जाता है, तो you age. Your age goes up like by 1 or 2. जैसे I think you start off at 20.
Zero. You start off at the age of 20,
हाँ.
and you start off at a death counter of 0.
Yeah.
So when you die, your death counter goes up to 1, and that gets added to your age. So you're now 21.
Okay.
Now if you die at 21, your death counter goes up to 2, and that gets added to your age. So now you're 23. So that keeps going on. And every time you enter a new decade, which is 30, 40, 50, 60, you trade off something. So every time you go up, you lose a bit of maximum health, but you increase the amount of damage output you do per attack. So when you're the oldest you can be 70. So when you die when you're 70, game over.
Okay.
So when you're 70, you're basically like a glass cannon. You can't take too many hits. Your health is like 3/4 only, of like 1/4 is missing almost, a little bit more than that. But the damage you do is more.
Okay.
So it becomes, your game plan sort of changes as you die. You start becoming more, parry based, or more, aware of you attacking and not taking too much damage. Basically, like an old kung fu master who's like, once he becomes older, you've seen all the movies where they just start dodging everything and they just go, bam, you're gone. That's basically it.
Yeah.
I want to add to it. एक game मैंने review किया था, Chronos from the Ashes. So that game has this similar mechanic, like it's a kind of Souls-based game.
ये वो
Souls-like.
Remnant का
Remnant
Soulsborne. जो Remnant तो was
VR
like
के लिए जो आया था.
Remnant was like Dark Souls with gun. Chronos is उसी game का like
Also with
same
gun.
lore. Yeah. It's like Dark Souls without guns, like Dark Souls.
There also, if you die, you get aged by 1 year, and हर decade में you get to celebrate your birthday by upgrading कोई skill fill upgrade करने के लिए.
Okay,
But you chip away a maximum health या armor कुछ उसके बदले में you get to upgrade yourself.
Got it. Okay.
So same mechanic in Sifu.
Yeah. And also Sifu में जैसे even in combat, like there's a lot of environmental stuff, bottles you can pick up, rods and sticks you can pick up some, and मुझे एक चीज बहुत अच्छा लगा, like some of these things ऐसा नहीं है कि they just break like in like 2-3 hits. ये बड़ी जरूरत है ना, these items really needed because some of these enemies, and they come at you from all sides, and they pick up weapons, and and the weapons are strong enough equally for you and the enemies. Like a hit with, if the enemy hits you with a weapon, that's like maybe almost 60-70% of your health bar gone at times. तो वो चैलेंज इन मेकिंग श्योर कि ना वो शिट जो जिसके हाथ में वेपन है उसको सबसे प्रायोरिटाइज करके या तो डॉज करो या मारो, गेट द वेपन आउट ऑफ हिज हैंड्स, एंड द वेपन पिकिंग अप एनिमेशन इज सो कूल. द कैरेक्टर डज लाइक अ लेग, पैर से एक फ्लिक करता है वेपन को, द वेपन काइंड ऑफ फ्लिक्स अप एंड ही स्टाइलिशली पिक्स इट अप. वेरी स्टाइलिश एनिमेशंस इन दिस गेम. वेरी वेल डन. टफ है, आई एग्री.
It's tough. On the 3rd level, I was like going through the game, I was like, oh, only sticks and everything. 3rd level, guy comes with a knife. And I'm like, oh, I want that knife. And I like beat him up and I get the knife. And I'm like, who's next? And oh my God, the knife finishers are insane. You stab someone through the chest and the knife comes out the backside.
Oh.
And I was like, man, this feels like Yakuza now. Like playing as Majima with the amount of stuff I can do now. It like, at least till what I played till the 3rd level. I think there are 5. And each level has a completely different aesthetic and theme. So they're all based on like one's plant, one is water, one is fire, one is metal, and one is earth. And each of these take place in completely different places which you would not expect. One's in a museum which looks fantastic, like a modern art museum. One's in a nightclub with like a dingy back alley that's burning. One's like a drug factory, which is the first warehouse level. And there are 2 more that I've not even seen, and I'm like, I want to see it because everything in the game so far has been so... Every time you go to a new level, you just want to explore and see what's there. But there is a lot of backtracking, so keep that in mind if you're going to play this game.
Yeah, backtracking. And there's also like a board of sorts. Like when you pick up something or collect something, na, it's nice presentation, but also it's a little confusing because kabhi-kabhi jaise if you pick something up, to ek wo... If you pick something up, there's a button you can press to read it, or examine it. But then when you press back, na, to it zooms out into like
a big board.
Yeah, a big board. But then all of a sudden you don't know कि अच्छा लेकिन वो चीज था कहाँ, like in this board where is that thing that I just looked at? Sometimes I had that confusion क्योंकि it's pretty big and very interconnected and sometimes are there things inside things, मुझे ये भी लगा कि ना maybe एक board एक item के अंदर items
No.
सब items ऐसा नहीं है ना? Okay.
Not till what I saw, but it is mostly like each level has its own collectibles essentially, which tell you a basic story or like tell you, oh, here's an item you got which helps you open a shortcut in the level,
Yeah.
or here's a basic description of the enemies you fight here. That's what it usually is, basically to tell a basic story. So as you go through the levels, so once you go to the third level, you unlock something for the second level.
Yeah.
So you can then open another shortcut in the second level. So the further you go, the more things you can even unlock for the previous levels, which again, replayability, making it faster for you to go through runs and all that.
Yeah.
So two questions here, Darren. First thing
Yeah.
is that did you play on a keyboard or a controller?
I played on the PS5.
Okay, so
Amazing DualSense usage.
Yeah.
okay, and would you recommend this game at launch?
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of people should get into it? Like
People who
are
like
into-
roguelike games,
Okay.
people who like something like Sekiro, where it's a lot of timing based combat, a lot of rhythm based combat, a lot of watching your opponent and learning and not being afraid of dying to learn. And then once you figure it out, it's like you can basically perfect a boss without taking damage even once. That's what it is, because they have very good visual cues to learn. So it's just a matter of figuring it out and giving it a little bit of time to understand what's happening and then just beating their ass.
Right.
Okay, before
So-
we wrap up and move on to the, I had just one thought इस game को लेके, जैसे have you played Absolver? तुम लोगों ने खेला है क्या?
I played a bit of it.
So I loved Absolver. I loved the way it looked, especially art style. So I thought, dude, why is this not like an open world game? This looks awesome. उसका art style वगैरह सब फाड़ दो, which is the art style and the overall style of the game. A lot of it is there in Sifu. I just don't understand. Like मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है Sifu seems to be ready to be like a decent enough hit. Like वो ठीक ठाक बिक जाएगा. It won't be a flop or anything at launch is what I feel. Absolver, I don't understand why that flopped. Was it just marketing? क्योंकि होता है ना, if you make a game kind of like a Sony console exclusive, तो already उस पे एक sort of stamp लग जाता है कि ना अच्छा ही होगा. For example, with Kenna also ना, a lot of people were excited Sony के उसमें. Do you think वही reason था why Absolver failed?
I think Absolver also being so in depth with their combat and having a very strong multiplayer aspect to it, I think that is what led to it. Sifu is completely single player. It has like a story and everything to go with it. Not as complex as Absolver, where you can make your own combos and like switch attacks. Absolver seems like a game for fighting game fans.
Okay.
People who like to learn combos, figure out what is optimal, all that. Sifu is not for those people. Sifu is for people who like to learn the game and then get better at the game, who want to see how good they can get at the game. You'll see a lot of speedrunners for Sifu coming out. I can see people being like, trying to see how fast they can beat it and how zero death runs and all that.
Yeah.
Challenges like in Dark Souls, like playing with a banana or something. I don't know.
Zero death
But
run या
you
फिर
will-
70-year-old man run.
Yeah, 70. Yeah, one hit run only.
Yeah.
Things like that.
वैसे you're right. वैसे Absolver में एक चीज वो था ना, one of the ways you learned combos was by observing कि enemy क्या combo कर रहा है, and then
हाँ.
kind of if you take a hit, if the enemy hits you with a combo, that is how you learn that combo and learn how to dodge and avoid that combo as well. Okay, fair enough. Chalo, that's 2 games down. The final game on the list is from Sushir.
Yeah.
Sushir,
So
take it up.
So while other people have been playing games like Dying Light 2 and other games that we can't name right now because we are under embargo, I was under the embargo of this game by Team 17 or Roll 17. I think that's the name. That's the name of the developers. This is the third game, and it's called OlliOlliWorld. And it's the successor to OlliOlli 1 and OlliOlli 2. I actually did play a lot of OlliOlli 2. The thing is that I was excited about this game, and I saw the trailers, and I told Ayush like, let me review this. Let me get let me sign the NDA. I will do that. I'll sign. I'll let me play this game. And I was in for a surprise. The thing was that OlliOlli 1 and OlliOlli 2, those both of them are like side-scrolling skateboard games. So think of like Tony Hawk, but in 2D.
Yeah.
And the thing about is that both both of the previous games was that it was a little like, how will I say, in terms of art style, it was a little bland. And there was no story there to begin with.
Yeah.
Which, of course, OlliOlliWorld changes. There is a brand new art style, and there's a brand new world, which is completely crazy. It is bonkers. And you are right now in a 2.5D kind of an environment where you can like have different routes, and you can actually, while skating down, you can actually see a different route. And you can like switch to it, or you can like open up a route later on, and then you do another run, and then you try and open that up. So the story over here is that there are 5 skate gods, and let me put this right up. This is like one of those hip games, but not like Riders Republic. Okay, Riders Republic, the tone was that you are stupid, you are not a teenager anymore, boomer, go away. But this one, you will feel that you are a part of a community. And the community is hip, and they have these, really rad and weird words. But it's exciting. You will get into it. The tone is very endearing, and the characters are also very something, that you can become friends with. And the story is that there are 5 skate gods, and they are the celestial skateriacs, and they have appointed a skate wizard, and that skate wizard Chiffon, she's retiring. And before she retires, she wants another skate wizard to take up the mantle. And there is where you come in. And that's where the game starts.
Have a
you
son,
as in,
and you're carrying your wife's ashes, skateboarding up to a mountain.
that will work.
Do an ollie flip, boy.
Yeah. So that god of skate works in a very similar way. So here is that when you start, the first thing that you get hit up with is the customization, which was not there in the previous games. There are glasses, hats, dress, skin tone, hair color. You can make your own wacky character, no matter whichever way you want. You can make it. You can change the socks, you can change the pants, the jackets, the top, anything. And then you get into the game, and then they start like, okay, there are like these 5 zones. And these zones are all very different. Like there is like the first zone, which is like a completely like a candy floss beach kind of a place. Where are these like wacky characters like let me give you an example. There are buff seagulls, okay, who are doing the gym, who are working out at the gym.
A big muscle wife.
Yeah. And in the next level, when you move on from the beach to the forest, there are zombies, like literal bees which are moving around, or trees that walk around. And I'll come back to the special level that was there. So there are side quests also. So there is like a snake-like route all through the 5 different places, and every few levels you get to learn something new. They teach you something new, and they put you up to that, like, okay, let's try this now. And by the end of it, when you come to the like the city wastelands, which are like toxic sludge and here and there, you have like almost mastered 4 or 5 of those big skills, and you can like chain stuff together and work things out. First of all, for people who are scared of timers, there are no timers here. You actually do the level in your own time, okay? And it's not as unforgiving as OlliOlli 1 or 2, okay? So in OlliOlli 1 or 2, there was a mechanic where when you are landing, you had to press A. If you didn't press A, if you didn't press A, you will fall down off the skate, okay? This is not there. You have to press A, but it's optional. Like to make a perfect landing, to combo your scores, you can do that, but you don't have to like keep on doing that. Like if you are stringing together a lot of combos, that is not something that you need to look towards, because there is going to be a lot of combos in this game. And I'll tell you why that happened. What happened is that right after the jungle level, there was a level where I did a side mission where you had to race a bear on a boat. Okay, like a floating device. What is that? Dinghy. Yeah. So the bear is on a dinghy and you are on the land and you are racing the bear to the finish. Okay. And so over there I saw that and I was like, okay, fine, I completed. And I saw there is leaderboards. And I saw like 10 times higher score like by someone already. And I was like, what is happening? We just got into this game. Like reviewers have just got into this game. What is happening? And what you can do is you can check out that run.
Oh.
And it'll show you that run as how the person did it. And I saw it and I kept down the controller and I walked away from the game for an hour or two. I was like, my life can never match up with the skills that this person has. And the skills on display were awesome. And that is how I learned a few more tricks, which I then moved on to the other one. Like the third kind of a area, the biome that is there, which is like a Nevada style desert where there are like UFOs and and there are like dinosaur bones that you can skate on, and all that really odd stuff, out there kind of stuff. You meet some aliens. No, so you meet some aliens and all those things that are there, and you learn so many different new tricks and so many different new ways. Is that have you seen those kind of games where you go into like a flow mode, like a Zen mode? Like, and it keeps on happening, like something like on the mobile, which is like Alto's Adventure. Or like a rhythm platformer kind of a game like Thumper, right?
I would say like Tetris Effect, where you just
absolutely. And this is one of those games is that if you're looking for that flow mode, that Zen kind of stuff, that okay, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to do my stuff, and I'm just going to skateboard from one place to another, and there's going to be no worry in the world. This is your game. This is your jam. This should be, I think it's as a whole licensed soundtrack. Okay. And it is just like, it's on a different level altogether from the other skateboarding games that I'm playing. I love the kind of the wall rides, the spins, the manuals, grind, grabs, all of those stuff that, you can do in these skateboarding games. I love it in this game. And it just makes me feel, and the rewards. Every time they're rewarding you after each run you cross a particular kind of a thing, they're rewarding you with cosmetics, they're rewarding you with different kinds of stuff that you can play. And in the end, what happens is that if you complete all that, you achieve Nirvana, okay, which is GNRA. And so then you can play this different modes open up, which is like a portal mode, and there it is randomly generated courses, and you can like pit yourself against one another, and there's a lot of replayability there, and that whole shtick about let's do that one more time, that keeps you coming back to a game. This is one of those games that will pull you in, like let's try that one more time, let's do it. Okay, I can do better than this.
About like the levels. So normally in like skateboard games, like if anyone's played Tony Hawk Pro Skater, they know that they have to reach a certain score to get a certain like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, right? A certain score. So how are levels? How do you get rated? Is it just score? Like, can you?
Okay. Yeah.
Differentiate?
So the thing is that first of all over here is that these characters that are there, who with the Chiffon, she has like a whole motley crew of characters. So one person is called Dad, one person is called Gnarly Mike, Susie with the camera. So Gnarly Mike, he has a robot leg and he's a little buff, and he has these missions for you in each level. Like for example, you high five a ghost. If you do a particular trick and you jump off a particular rail, you high five go through the ghost and then fall off one place. So there are like these 3 or 4 missions in each level where you need to complete that, or that's optional. You can do that for extra points.
Okay.
And then there are leaderboards where like where other people are practicing. Also, the characters in the game have their own scores as well, so you can beat them and get stars and scores for that. And so the more you get, the more you'll unlock. Like if you get 1 stars, you'll unlock 1 stuff, and if you get 2 or 3 or higher, and you get to unlock more stuff in that game. So that is how it works. Let me come back to that the portal mode. The interesting thing about this whole procedurally generated mode, which they put it separate, which is of course you have to unlock it a little later, is that you get this code which you can then share with your friend, and that your friend will be able to play like the exact course that you got seeded into, and then you can compare stuff. You can't there's no multiplayer in that sense, but yeah, you can see their run, you can see them get updated on a daily basis. And just like those games where you go like, okay, this guy has good scores on this level, let me beat it. Yeah, that's the kind of mode that this game wants to go into. Let me come back to the art style. I gushed about everything, like the flow mode and everything. The art style is like Adventure Time. If you love Adventure Time, you need to get into this game. It's super cute. It's therapeutic. You get into that game. Everybody is, smart. Everybody is like, they speak in a gibberish language. But it makes sense because of the subtitles, and they'll tell you to do stuff, and you do stuff, and you go to different places and everything. But it feels very rewarding, and it feels that you are a part of a community, the skateboarding community, and you're trying to do something better. And also, the art style of the different kind of characters that you meet in this world, where like there are trees, there are zombies, there are these ice cream cones walking around. It's just something else altogether. So OlliOlliWorld, actually, it's releases on Steam, PS5, PS4, Xbox One XS, wherever you want. Nintendo Switch also on the 8th of February. So go check it out. It's being published by Private Division. And one more thing, side quests are completely optional, and you don't have to like complete them. But if you do complete them, you're going to get like some really cool and weird stuff. So so that's my thing about OlliOlliWorld.
I will leave my Steam in the comments. Please get the game to me. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. I say so many games this month. Another one added to the list. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sushir. With that, I think we come to the conclusion of all the games, all the new games that we are playing and can talk
We can
about.
talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are more games to
Always.
talk about. अगले हफ्ते बात करेंगे हम.